Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Livelihood.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing rendition of Livelihood, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, and the world's smartest internet show. Bell the Bodysnatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, is Corey Walsh.
And he's Dan Griffin.
We got a big one here tonight, boys. It's our last week before.
Until what?
I believe it's our last week before the big Kentucky primary. Am I wrong about that?
So it's on the 19th. That's 5 days away.
Yeah, this is probably the last time for us to tell all of our Kentucky friends to get out and vote for Thomas Massie. The smear campaign against him, which we'll get into a little bit later on in more depth later on in the show, is remarkably desperate. However, I'm never going to discount the power of Adelson money when it comes to any election.
If you look at the polling, if young people show up to vote, he's a shoo-in.
Right. That does seem to be the case.
That does seem to be the case. I got two things to get off my chest before we start our show, Dan.
Okay.
First off, I am now officially a college graduate. You know, I don't want anyone to look at me any different. I'm still the same guy. I'm still the same happy-go-lucky, easygoing Corey. I don't want anyone to try to paint me as an elitist. I'm not a part of that group, even though I have a degree now. Just don't treat me any different. I'm just here to just have fun with the rest of you.
Just because I know a little privilege.
Just because I know a little bit more than you now, don't treat me any different.
Corey is a full-fledged card-holding communist now. So
because I stole money back from the government that they took from me. So we have two differing opinions here, Dan.
Yeah.
The other thing, okay, yeah, you want to talk about you want to attack versus character. Me and Bell noticed that you took your headphones off before you took your piss before the show because you didn't want us to hear your feminine stream.
You wouldn't have. I was connected to the correct microphone this time.
Oh, well.
Fuck. I think we might be getting throttled down for our hashtags on Twitter right now. I think that's actually happening.
You think so?
We're getting throttled down pretty hard.
We're getting throttled.
Yeah, people don't want us spreading the good word about Thomas Massie, so hopefully you're hearing this in podcast form at some point. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of live viewers. I don't think we're going to be allowed to get a whole lot of live viewers here tonight, but that's okay. The show must go on. Before we get into any of that fun stuff, Trump basically saying that he doesn't care about you at all, as long as Iran doesn't get a nuke. What else did I have on that list of stuff we're eventually going to get to? Oh, Trump made his summit with Xi Jinping, and Bibi Netanyahu's saying more things about how your sons and daughters are going to go to war for Israel, and still doesn't understand why the
propaganda war isn't going in his favor.
He doesn't understand what's going on, and also what a turd John Fetterman is. He likes war, and I will say this: we can start with this before we get into AOC being a fucking retard. The TradCon boomers are going to have a cow when they wake up tomorrow morning, because obviously they've already been in bed for a while. It's already 8:30, so they've been in bed for about 3 hours after their 4 o'clock dinner, because the Supreme Court decided that the abortion pill can be ordered through the mail, while the legal challenges against it are taking place. So this isn't like a Roe v. Wade thing where the Supreme Court says no.
when it comes to someone's body on this show, I feel like you're in agreement with me, Dan. When it comes to your own personal body, the government should have no say in it, regardless of your personal opinion. Whether you're pro-abortion or pro-choice, it's not up to the government to make that decision.
Yeah, and now you can, with the use of the abortion pill, you can legally, through mail order, evacuate your uterus. So congratulations.
A bunch of conservatives, they do mail order brides. Why not mail order oopsies?
This isn't like some Roe v. Wade thing where it's like the law of the land. This is still being challenged in court. This is just while the legal proceedings are going on. Lower courts can't be like, all right, you can't do this. So it's, the fight's not over for anybody who supports the use of this pill, but at least temporarily,
or against it, I guess.
Oh, good. Sure. Against it, for it.
It's still the most frustrating fucking thing to me that people are still, because of their own personal convictions, wanting the government to create a safe space for them for this issue, when they were literally all up in arms about the government enforcing on them that they have to get a vaccine or not. They were all like mockingly saying, my body, my choice, when it came to like the government trying to force a brand new vaccine on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of learning from that, like, oh shit, yeah, maybe government overreach is bad, they went right back to the fucking well and drank from the same poisoned well that was from a lead factory downriver half a stream away.
Can I play devil's advocate? I agree with you, but let me play devil's advocate. The way that the anti-abortion crowd sees this is that one of them is preventing the murder of a baby. The other is preventing the government from forcing you to put something into your body.
Okay, then you use the same argument they do. They use the same argument they do. Well, then if you're going to just allow an illegal immigrant to come over the border, then why don't you house it? Okay.
Well, sure.
If you don't want someone to abort a baby, why don't you adopt it?
Mm-hmm. I didn't say I didn't say I didn't agree.
Saying, I know. They're
just saying one's murder and one's not really murder. One's preventing murder.
Like I guess it's my own personal opinion,
Execute
but it's like
Order 66.
When it can survive by itself outside of the womb. Technology is advancing. It's at this point now where you can hey Belle, look up the record of the youngest baby removed from the womb that survived.
Like fetus?
I guess. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
I gotta imagine there's been a couple second trimesters in there that have pulled through.
Oh, I'm sure. But I guess that's
we have all just participated in a hate crime.
Whatever that number is, then if someone's willing to foot the bill.
Care to venture a guess?
I don't want some weird thing where someone grew an embryo outside, in some sort of mixture or tincture that made it viable to live. I'm talking about where someone was like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I keep this baby. All right, we're going to take it out and try to keep it alive. Or any of that, that type of scenario where the baby was conceived in the womb and removed and kept alive. I'm going to guess 24 weeks. What's your guess, Dan?
3 days.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck? No. Plan B still works then. Hangover is still around then.
What you got, Belle?
It's 23 weeks.
I was pretty close.
You knew. You heard that somewhere before. You cheated.
The baby weighed 8.6
wrong.
Okay,
but at that point, if you get a sponsor and someone's like, I really want you to I really want to keep this baby alive, and the ladies and the girls that's fine, just get it out of me, and pay for it. But
God, I wish we had that Frank Reynolds drop.
Just flush it.
Gotta get that monster that is in your gut down to Mexico ASAP. We gotta find that one. We gotta find that one.
Like, it's just, I don't knock anybody that's pro-choice. I don't knock anybody that's pro-life. I just don't think that the mess of a government that we have should dictate that decision one way or the other.
Come on now, you expect me to believe that?
Isn't that crazy? It's crazy, right? That like what you do with your body does not infringe on my personal liberties whatsoever. That I don't think the government needs to mandate it with some broad blanket fucking mandate either way or the other.
Corey, sports baby murder. On we go.
Okay, or people who are super like liberal and pro-choice would be like, oh my God, he supports forcing a woman to do something with her body because the government isn't there to mandate it and tell them no.
Shouldn't have taken that D. Took too much vitamin D. You know who else supports baby murder, Corey?
Who?
One Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Bell, you got that video pulled up? I've heard AOC say some dumb shit. But she does have this way of making dumb shit sound kind of smart, which is like a special talent that like the communist types have.
If it's foreign policy, I mean, if it's domestic policy,
where they make dumb shit,
she gets smart. Probably a D on foreign policy, and that's not a sex joke. It's just she's not very good at it.
I want you to pay attention when Bell plays this video, how the woman,
meaning she supports genocide.
Yeah, I want you to pay attention to the woman interviewing her, how she responds to this. She might as well be under the table with her head fully inside of AOC's snatch, which, you know, a baby will never come out of. But
she's straight. She's probably going to have a baby.
It's bad. It's really, really bad. Go ahead, Belle. Roll that footage.
There's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't earn $1 billion.
That's right.
You just can't earn that.
That's right. Exactly correct.
You can.
That's exactly correct.
You can get market power. You can break rules. You can do all sorts of things. You can abuse labor laws.
Yep.
You can pay people less than what they're worth.
Yep.
But you can't earn that, right? And so you have to create a myth that since you didn't earn that, you have to create a myth of earning it. There's a certain level.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
That's the chick from Broad City. She's an idiot.
Wait, was that the chick from Broad City?
I don't even know.
Sure, what?
Know. I don't really
Not
care.
one of the two main characters, right? Was that one of the two main characters? No shit.
Irrelevant.
I didn't even recognize her. Wait, is it the girl with the fro?
Oh my God.
It's just straightened. Okay, anyways, never mind. This is Radio for Two.
Irrelevant. Okay, so let's break this down. Dude, one of my buddies from high school, he shared this on one of the social media platforms, and it was the first place I saw it, and it happened to be a retweet from George Takei. Okay, about just how brilliant this is of AOC to say, because what these communist types always do is they speak in these super vague, generalized terms that can't be quantifiable at all. They use words like earn and what they're worth, and what's the other big one they like to use all the time? Living wage. And it's like these are vague terms, they're subjective terms that don't actually mean anything. Oh, greed. Greed's the other one. They love the word greed. And she goes,
wage slave.
You can't. Yeah, whatever these vague terms that nobody can actually quantify in any way, whatever they're supposed to mean to them to make their point sound smarter than it actually is. So she goes, you can't earn $1 billion. Okay, let's go with that. You can't earn $1 billion. My question to you, Madam Congresswoman, would be, what's the number?
So respectful.
What's the number where your wealth stops being earned? Is it $500 million? Is it $1 million?
Is it $999 million?
Is it 1495? I mean, what is the number, and who decides what that number is? You see how this makes no sense? Like,
yeah, it does. So I just Googled it really quick, and you can't earn $1 billion. And I think that
Grok said so. Grok would never say that.
No. What I'm getting at is I think the fact that we have billionaires is a reflection on the inflation that's happened over 100 years. Because you know what $1 billion was worth in 1926?
Let me guess here. I'm gonna say it's less than 10 million.
It's 53 million.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, what year did you say?
1926.
Okay, no, that's about what I was thinking. All right, I was off.
Yeah. No, $1 billion is like a lot of fucking money. It's Dan, $1 billion is a really, really big number.
It's like a whole buttload. I know. It's wild.
It's more than 999 million. 0.99999.
Which is like, do you see what I mean though? When it's just like you can't quantify what she's saying in any way, shape, or form. And
right, like
it's tell her that she's so brilliant. What a smart thing to say.
As much as principled as Bernie Sanders is, and as much as I agreed with him in 2016 versus now when it comes to like anything related to the economy, even him, who I still can't speak ill on. Do I disagree with him? Sure. But when he first started running for president, he would talk about millionaires, and now it's just strictly billionaires.
Millionaires and billionaires.
I want to say that billionaires only exist because of inflation. Just like why the stock market is hitting record numbers because of inflation.
But even so, that still doesn't mean that $1 billion can't be earned, right?
Okay. Like I get it, like I get the idea of it, where it's like a lot of these people who are billionaires, they got a huge head start on life because their parents were millionaires, and they they were getting loans from their parents. Like what is like Trump's a self-made man because he got a small loan of $2 million from his parents.
I think it was 4. Give Elder Trump some credit here.
Regardless, $4 million or $2 million, you are still getting a leg up over 99% of the country. Yeah, Trump didn't start off on Skid Row. He wasn't no fucking who was it? Who created the printing? Like the people who were actually self-made that became billionaires, but in 1926 terms, so they would have been just millionaires, holding just a measly $53 million versus $1 billion. But it's basically what I'm getting at is, first off, inflation, I think, is the reason why we have millionaires. There's a reason why like things in China cost 1,000, or not China, but like, I mean, Japan or China, whatever one does yen. A pop here is $1.50. Yeah. A pop here is $1.50. There it's like 600 yen, to where it's like the number, like it doesn't really matter itself.
It's an arbitrary number.
The value stays the same. Whether it's 53 million or $1 billion, the value is still like the actual same. But I guess what I'm getting at is, what was my question is, how does someone be like, if a billionaire isn't earned, and then her reasoning for a billionaire in saying what they did wasn't earned is naming all the reasons how big government helps big business.
Right. You can
and that like
pay your workers
in a true capitalist society. You're right. A billionaire probably wouldn't be a billionaire because it wasn't earned.
Just think about the concept of that, right? So one of her things is like, you cannot pay your workers what they deserve, because again, which is another fucking subjective thing that nobody can tell you what the actual number is that they should be earning. But it's like, okay, you have, I don't know, let's say 4,000 workers and you pay them, $18.50 an hour, but you really should be paying them, $22 an hour. Yeah, that's the difference between them becoming a billionaire and not becoming a billionaire. So this is what I love about AOC types always talking about how horrible billionaires are. They only focus on that number that makes up their wealth. They never think about how that wealth came to be. They never think about it, not to sound like Ronald Reagan here, but they never talk about how that wealth trickles down to those 4,000 workers being able to work a job that they wouldn't have if this billionaire didn't exist. This is the bullshit they always do. The billionaires have done one thing that is evil that isn't even actually the fault of billionaires, and that is buying government, as you were getting at, Corey. That's it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at. Is like when they're like, oh,
you know how we fix that? According to AOC, we have more government. That's how we fix it.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense. Asinine. Like it's first off, billionaires exist strictly because of inflation. And secondly, they exist because they are able to bribe politicians through corruption and have the
legal means like lobbying and all this bullshit.
Well, all of that stuff. I would consider lobbying corruption. Like paying off politicians is corruption in what is supposed to be a free and fair like indirect democracy or constitutional republic. Lobbying is bribery. It's just relabeled as lobbying to make it legal.
Yeah, I mean, more or less, because the way they do it is like,
if I wanted to pay off, like if I walked into City Hall tomorrow and go and say, I have $3 million that I want you to make it to where I own chickens in my city. Owning chickens is against an ordinance, right? But I want you to make it to, because I own chickens, because I am going to pay you this amount of money every so years that campaign, I get to own them. Yeah, that I'm paying you this money that I can own chickens, and I get this special cutout of the ordinances because my chickens contribute to our society in X amount of ways. But I don't want you to let anyone else own these chickens unless they pay the same amount of money I do.
Which nobody can do.
That's bribery. That's extortion. If I went into my city hall and did that, they would tell me I wouldn't be allowed to do that because I'm trying to bribe them with money. But lobbyists do it every single day.
I think, but the way they do it is.
But if I leave my city and then go to the fucking federal government and bribe a few powerhouses in the Senate and have them pass a bill for me, then it's legal.
Right. And the way they do it is by saying, it's going to take, I don't know if I'm going to be able to donate this $3 million to your campaign so that you can win your next election unless we get some legislation passed. I mean, lobbying, to your point, Corey, is essentially a quid pro quo.
Yeah, obviously it is. It's just, it's legalized bribery. And then, so she's like, well, they skirt these laws and stuff like that. Because like when we talk about the arbitrary number of what minimum wage should be, when it comes to like the government setting a standard, you know how you find out what minimum wage is too low? When you offer a wage and no one accepts the job.
Right. Exactly. Which is why the minimum wage should be $0.
If someone like, if I did something tomorrow and I started a small business and then I offered $3 an hour to people to come work for me, there's going to be somebody who is in a spot that is so desperate that they need $3 an hour because it's better than $0 an hour.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go.
Like,
I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
But there's someone desperate enough to work for it.
Yeah. She's a moron.
The only reason Walmart, and we've talked about this on our show before, talking about billionaires, the very billionaires she's attacking, the reason why they're a billionaire is because they're able to suck off the government teat and hire super poor workers because they're subsidized by the very government that you're trying to expand.
Yeah, and they give them just enough hours to where they're not technically full-time. They don't have to give them health insurance, all this other stuff.
But then they also make their schedule sporadic to where they can't get a second job. There's a trap. There's a trap there.
Yeah. But by all means, AOC, keep blaming the billionaires. Keep saying stupid things like you don't earn $1 billion instead of turning the mirror in on not necessarily yourself, but on the people with you in Congress that I'm sure you'll support next time around because
so here's the thing,
this MAGA candidate can't win.
Well, here's the thing. It's because like they often, and both sides do things like this, but like right now, this whole you can't earn $1 billion. I don't know if you could point to any American who's earned $1 billion that didn't do it off of either their parents' back or being able to buy off a politician or do it in an actual free market economy that we talk about, because all of those things would like living off like getting money from your parents. That's one thing, but then using that money to lobby and use the government because they're corrupt and because that they're valuable and because that they can be paid off to do things to cater to you to help your business. Can you name a billionaire in America that became a billionaire that wasn't from nepotism and wasn't from manipulating the government?
Not a billionaire, multimillionaires though.
You can name a million millionaires that did that.
Multi-millionaires.
So it's like I get the idea that you can't earn $1 billion, but what pisses me off is someone like AOC will make this arbitrary number, which again is the only reason we have billionaires is because of inflation. The only reason the stock market's hitting record numbers is because of inflation. Because when you put all these numbers, like it hit these watermarks before when the economy was doing just as good, and you could say the quality of life of Americans in the 50s was a hell of a lot better than it is now. And you didn't have a ton of billionaires, and you didn't have the stock market hitting the numbers anywhere they are now. The only reason those numbers are higher now than they were in the 50s is because of fucking inflation, because the value of the dollar has gone lower.
That's a great segue.
And all of that shit that was happening then was happening with less government and less, you know what I mean? So it's just.
It's a great segue.
And then also, like, in all honesty, would the world be better or worse if there were no millionaires?
Of course it would be.
If a true market system didn't allow it. Because, again, getting back to it, that I honestly believe that in a true market, free capitalist society, you're right, there probably wouldn't be billionaires. Because one wouldn't figure out a way to jump to the top really quick and then stifle all innovation. Look at the fucking protectionist law that put in by our very own Alyssa Slotkins, saying that no China-built vehicle could be brought here because they might be surveilled on. And it's like, is that what it is? Because all I see is now all of a sudden a bunch of Americans are being blocked from buying a cheaper alternative to the vehicles that are here, to where if those cheaper vehicles were here, our in-house industries that build our cars would have to innovate a car that would compete with that. But instead of making it to where cars are cheaper here by using a free market system, to where cheaper cars from being introduced into the market, forcing the industries here to adapt, we're going to make laws to not let another government spy on us, because our government wants to spy on us and they want their fucking kill switch fucking shit put in our cars. And that's just one small example of like, why are the auto industries here billionaires? Because the government is stifling competition from entering the market. And why are they doing that? Because big business is in bed with big government.
Right. This is the thing we talk about all the
AOC
time.
is trying to expand and defend.
This is the thing we talk about all the time, where the protectionist policies that stifle competition are the reason why the stock market goes up, billionaires get more, why we have such a wealth gap, such a wealth disparity, why we had the biggest transfer of wealth of all time through the COVID times, through even, and then before that, the housing crisis of 2008, 2009. These are all because of terrible government policies that allow these rich billionaires that AOC hates so much to take advantage of a system that is put in place by the collaboration of big business and government. And what these socialist idiots always want to do is they want to put 100% of the blame on those billionaires who are literally just taking advantage of the rules that are put in place by you, AOC. Yeah. Sorry to say, I mean, maybe not you personally, but the people that you sit next to every day in Congress.
Yeah.
You people did that shit.
50 years from now, Dan, it's not going to be the billionaires are bad. It's going to be the trillionaires. The value is going to be the same. The value will be the same. The amount of the number is arbitrary. Remember, in the last 100 years, the dollar has lost 93 or 98% of its value.
Enough of its value. Because you keep finding ways to pump money back into the economy through whatever it is. Whether, I mean, the first one I remember was didn't Trump write, or not Trump, Bush write some checks?
I think Bush was actually the one that bailed out the banks, if you want to get really technical.
No, but I mean, didn't he actually send check? Like, so the reason I bring up that example is because obviously Trump did that, Biden did that through COVID. They both did it. And it's like, it's really great when you first get that $1,200. It's like, oh my God, it's awesome. This is $1,200 I didn't have. Inflation's not a problem at that point because inflation doesn't hit until all of us have spent that $1,200 check and it ends up back in the money supply to where the corporations that you hate so much. Right. But I'm sure AOC didn't have a problem with Joe Biden cutting those checks. I don't think she probably said much when Trump cut those checks. She was just probably really quiet. I don't remember. If somebody can point out to me a time where
AOC ever said, let's stop spending.
Right. And dude, it's like, and you know, fucking Pete Hegseth with his $1.5 trillion.
Fuck you, dude.
Defense spending. And, you know, I'm sure she's got a huge problem with that, as she should. But it's just like the Bernie types, the AOC types, these people, I genuinely think they believe what they're saying. And I genuinely think that they're just stupid.
It's frustrating because they're really good at pointing out the problems. But their argument is more restrictive free market, or less free market, more big government.
Yeah. That's always the answer.
And the thing is, it's like, in the best intentions, Bernie, you're eventually going to have to leave your seat. AOC, you have a way longer timeline, but you're eventually going to have to leave your seat.
She'll be Dianne Feinstein at some point.
And then what you're going to do is leave behind this gaping open hole for somebody to plug, and then use the very words you created 50 fucking years ago and the bill you created 50 fucking years ago and manipulate it and pull more money from the system. Well, meanwhile, that's happening from a million different directions. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, where'd the money go? I guess we'll just print more.
Exactly. Well, that's already been happening for 80
Well, that's
years.
what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying is like, why continue to repeat that cycle? Because what they're doing now is the same thing that happened fucking 50 years ago.
Corey, don't you understand the point here? if billionaires and billionaires, he doesn't say millionaires anymore because he is one and he's a fucking chud. But Bernie Sanders, if the billionaires would just pay their fair share, again, arbitrary language, stuff you can't quantify. What the hell does fair share mean? Nobody actually knows what the hell fair share means. Like there have been models done on this. If you took all of the money from every billionaire in the United States, every dime in assets, every dime in their bank account, every single dime, and you pumped it back in to the, essentially in through taxes, it wouldn't even run the United States government for a single year. But for some reason, if we just tax more, all we got to do is tax more. It's going to solve every poor person in America's problems. Now, that's a really easy thing to sell to someone who is not doing well, because it's really easy to be, I don't want to use the words like envious or jealous, but like, I've been broke before and I've looked at people with a shit ton of money and said things like, oh, that must be really nice. Right. I think we've all done that. You know what I mean? But it's really easy to be like, how come I'm struggling? But the bigger problem, the bigger thought is like, I'm struggling over here and this person's driving around on a yacht. It's really, really easy to be a politician and turn the ire toward that person in the yacht. Because what does that do? Well, that takes the ire away from me as the congressperson in the federal government. It takes the ire away from my colleagues. We're trying to get them to pay a little bit more, when in reality, what they need to do is shrink themselves and shrink their own power. How do you get somebody who has gained power to give it away? You don't.
Yeah, if we took all the money from all the billionaires in our country, and then like every single dime, like you said,
assets, everything,
it would fund the government for a year and 3 months.
All right, so it's gone up a little bit. Barely a year. And barely a year. Now you have no billionaires to create jobs. So now what have you done? You know, it's just like nobody ever thinks about those reverberations. Not to sound like Bibi Netanyahu. Anyway.
It's just that's the thing. It's just everyone does these fucking, maybe not red herring. What's it? Straw man. They create like straw mans and caricatures of just something to attack and poke and prod with sticks, without even understanding that that's not even really the enemy. I'm not saying that these billionaires are angels. They're all like again, it goes back to, did they earn it? And it's like, I don't know, because they were using their millions to extort the government and corrupt and lobby the government to make them billionaires, to where it's like, at what point were they not a contributive fixture in society to the point where they were just
their assets and the number in their bank account is not the thing that's the problem. I'm with you. Like, I'm not a huge fan of any billionaires out there.
The arbitrary number that is in their account is negatable.
Doesn't matter. It means nothing. Anyway, we can
it really doesn't, because the government just keeps fucking spending it and printing it. That number literally doesn't mean anything.
It's the perfect segue into our next topic, which is that Donald Trump basically told you flat out, fuck you. He does not give a shit about your finances when it comes to the Iran war. It is so much more important that Iran doesn't have a nuke that they never had and weren't trying to get, than whether or not you're able to put gas in your truck to go to your job and feed your family. He doesn't care about that. I'm sure everybody's probably seen this video at some point, but we'll roll it for you one more time, because anytime I have a chance to get anybody pissed off at the federal government, I like to take advantage of that. And I think Corey does as well. Go ahead and roll this one, Bell.
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
To what extent are Americans...
You're a fat loser and you have body odor.
You don't know what the funniest fucking thing about that video is? And it just goes to show like the uniparty that we have and like the political, like how the political parties and all the big things, short of trying to win an election, are in lockstep and actually the same. Is that video is going to be chopped up and it's going to say not even a little bit. I don't care, you know, like when it comes to the financial, like, because he said at first he said how he doesn't, not even a little bit, he doesn't care about the finances of Americans, and then he says Iran can't have nuclear weapons, and then he says again, I don't care about the finances of Americans. The biggest problem is we cannot have Iran have nuclear weapons, and you're gonna see that cut up to just those two sections of what he said. And not the part about Iran having nuclear weapons. It wasn't a threat to Americans, but Democrats and Republicans both are lobbied by the military-industrial complex that they don't want to piss them off, that they're only going to cut out those little parts about Americans' finances and not play the whole clip.
I don't even have anything to add. I mean, I think Donald Trump just said it right there, right to your face. And JD Vance decided to come out today and basically try to gaslight you into the fact that Donald Trump didn't actually just say what he just said. It's the same shit Marco Rubio pulled a few months ago.
With the Iran or the Israel thing, and then afterwards, like, that's not what I said at all.
Yeah, except at least Marco Rubio did it to himself. I didn't say that. And then you just pull up the video.
You know what's really funny is I saw this thing recently before you play this video and talking about how the extermination of the white race is actually happening because in 2028 it might be two Latinos running for presidency. AOC and Marco Rubio.
Oh my God, dude. You know what's funny?
We might have two Latinx.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just since you brought up this aside, I actually don't know the answer to this question in my own head, and it's just an opinion-based question. But after Trump versus Kamala Harris, is it possible to have more of a shit show of an election season than that was? The only thing that's
Vance, I think JD Vance's campaign is going to be similar to Kamala Harris's because he needs the mega vote. So he's got to try to tout all of the achievements of the Trump presidency while also trying to navigate what went wrong, because we watched Kamala Harris try to do that. Now, granted, Kamala Harris only had 100 days. Vance is going to get a hell of a lot longer to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But watching him try to walk that tightrope like Harris did is going to be something to see.
The biggest load that we've seen.
Go ahead and pull up the JD video here, Bell, because this is JD Vance coming out a day later and telling you didn't just hear what you just heard yesterday. Don't believe your lying eyes. This Orwellian bullshit is absolutely wild. Here you go. Go ahead and roll it, Bell.
Thank you. And can I ask you, Mr. Vice President, approaching the war with Iran, do you agree with the president's position that Americans' financial situations should not be a consideration in that decision-making process?
Well, I don't think the president said that. I think that's a misrepresentation of what the president said. But look, I agree with the president that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. We're obviously engaged in a very aggressive and very engaged diplomatic process to try to ensure that that doesn't happen. And the president has a lot of options.
Thank you. And can I ask you, Mr. Vice
Nope, the president didn't actually say that. Hey, Bell, you want to pull up the first one again real quick? Let's go back and see what Donald Trump actually said. Because
what did Donald Trump actually say?
What did he say when he was asked about whether or not he considers Americans' finances when it comes to the Iran war? Because JD Vance said that is a huge misrepresentation. Bell must have closed it out. Oh, he found it real quick, though. He's like Jamie Vernon over here. Oh, man. It is unbelievable, the gaslighting I mean, this is honestly, guys, this gaslighting that we're getting out of this administration is absolutely on par with Biden is totally sane and definitely not losing his mind.
Oh yeah, it's right up there.
It is absolutely on par. Go ahead and roll it again, Bell. Let's see what the president actually said.
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about
not even a little bit.
American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing: we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Oh, good, because they don't have one.
Americans' financial situation, I don't even think about it. I think about one thing.
Daddy, you're my daddy.
Listen, I'm going to give a clue here now. I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day.
This is, I mean, J.D. Vance, what he said yesterday about how that's a misrepresentation of what the president actually said. That is on par with Joe Scarborough's dumbass getting on Morning Joe talking about how Biden is the most cogent he's ever seen him. And he kept using that word cogent because he thought it was a big, smart word over and over again. You're looking for that drop, aren't you, Corey? I know how your mind works.
It's just bullshit.
Yeah, thank you, Joe Scarborough. I knew we
idiots
absolutely needed
on cable news.
Thank you, Joe Scarborough, for that nugget of wonderful. He's so cogent. We should pull that drop, by the way.
He's so cogent.
Joe Scarborough saying cogent.
Yeah, 67 Corvette.
And then was it like late last week? Was it Friday night? Trump, who allegedly doesn't drink, and I believe he doesn't, just had another one of his like Roseanne Barr on Twitter moments where he's just on Truth Social, just typing out a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, didn't he like post within like 8 hours, like 55 times or something like that?
Yeah, dude. But he's totally fine.
Everything's
fine.
No
Everything's awesome. Other than eating well done steaks with ketchup.
Oh my god, yeah, that's one of my biggest critiques of him. Is dude, who the
fuck yeah!
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool.
Gotta be careful.
I know, dude.
we get our shit pulled for that stuff. But yeah, Donald Trump basically gave you the top of the line middle finger. He does not care about your finances. This war with Iran means so much more than what is in your pocketbook, whether or not you're able to feed your kids, whether or not you're able to put gas in your truck to get to work. He doesn't.
Hell no, brother. Trump is a miracle worker. I used to only be able to fit $50 of gas in my tank. Now I can fit 100. Only Trump can do that.
And it's been a tough week for JD. We don't want to be too hard on the vice president, especially following Pete Hegseth's nonsense about making the Department of Defense, or I'm sorry, the Department of War, more quote unquote fiscally responsible in its use of your tax dollars to blow up brown kids for Israel.
By increasing it by like 100%.
Yeah. So JD, I don't think I sent this one to you, Bell. I think I might have made that mistake. JD put out this ridiculous video. If I can find it, I think I fucked up and didn't send this to Bell, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and play it. He did one of those terrible fucking America is awesome and here's why videos. And this is it. This was so
fuck yeah! We have to take the fraud issue seriously. We really have the most accelerated, aggressive anti-fraud operation that we've ever seen from the federal government. Every week, I get a report from the task force. We have our weekly meeting, and I am shocked every single day by the things that we find. This is not just theft of the American people's money. This is also theft of critical services that the American people rely on. No amount of fraud is too big or too small. If you're defrauding the taxpayer, you ought to go to prison, and anybody who's helping you ought to go to prison too.
Wait,
Vice
hold
President
hold
J.D.
the fuck on. So we're gonna damn near double the budget of a department of our government, Pentagon, military, what have you, that hasn't been able to pass a fucking audit in our entire lives.
since they've started auditing the
Dan,
Pentagon.
no fraud is too big or too small.
I know.
Why not?
I know.
Why not, instead of going after, and I get it, the Somalian fraud, there's a shit ton of Medicaid and Medicare fraud that are in the millions and millions of dollars.
He's
But
talking about freedom.
Why not start with the big fish that has $6.4 trillion that they cannot account for?
I don't know why you're asking me. I mean, and that's a great point, Corey, and it even goes a little bit. It even goes a little bit deeper than that, because I mean, are you going to look into Eric Trump's influence peddling in his crypto scam, or the fact that the president's son is on cable TV bragging about landing a defense contract while his daddy's president of the United States? How about this new thing? Did you see this? Did you see this new thing that popped up just today or yesterday, Corey? I think it's been going on for a while, but they finally released Trump Mobile, the American-made competition.
No, Trump Mobile is not happening anymore.
Right. They were allegedly...
Yeah, they got a ton of money from that, and now they're just saying that Trump Mobile isn't going to happen anymore.
They were allegedly supposed to start shipping phones this week, is what I was getting at. So JD puts out that gem of a video. I think it was basically on the same day. So with Trump Mobile, over 500,000 people paid $100 to pre-order one. There's no product. It doesn't exist. And there are allegations that the phone was actually going to be made in China. I'm sure those Trump accounts, though, that the president is peddling to your boomer con uncle dumbass to open for his grandkids, those are totally going to be on the up and up, though. I promise you, it's going to be totally fine. But no fraud is too big or too small.
I'm just going to go over here and hit end stream.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Oh, my God.
Those Trump accounts are great, though, right? They're going to be awesome. You should get one for your son, Corey. Nothing could go wrong. It'll go along the lines of like Trump's
no. Here's the
Trump
thing.
University.
Here's the thing. It's like, fuck Trump, whatever. The accounts might actually, like, never mind all the other scams that Trump has ran before or during his presidencies. I'm not going to give the government money for something that's promised for my child that 10 or 15 years from now, right when he's about to turn 18, gets thrown into a slush fund like Social Security or anything else did.
Sorry, we don't actually have the money to give you this money. So we're gonna throw it into a Ponzi scheme like Social Security's been since its inception. And you're gonna have to go ahead and pay that money forward to the old people. But we promise you'll get yours when it's your time. You're just gonna get it a little bit later and a little bit later.
He's gonna turn 17, and then right when he's about to turn 18, they're gonna we're gonna give it to 21-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And then
We gotta
21.
We gotta up the Trump account age.
Yeah,
it's gonna be just like the retirement age. So you're never actually gonna see it.
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
You're never actually gonna see. I promise. It's great though.
Oh my God. Anyone who's worked for a big bureaucracy when it comes to a business should be the most libertarian person in the world.
Boomers
but they're
are
not.
the worst, dude. I fucking hate boomers. Boomers are the reason why Thomas Massie might lose his primary on Tuesday.
Boomers are the reason why we're in a deficit. Boomers are the reason why there are billionaires. And why are there billionaires? Because of inflation. Because 100 years ago, someone who would be considered a billionaire today would have only been worth $53 million.
You sure about that?
Yes.
No fraud is too big or too small.
Yes.
No fraud is too big or too small. Trump met with Xi Jinping. They had themselves a nice little jerk off fest. Nice little circle jerk with Trump's tiny hands. And Xi Jinping's Asian. He probably has tiny hands. Is that a racist thing to say? I don't really care. I will say this. I'll give Trump credit for this. He really was talking up Chinese food, man. You saw that, right? What did he say? He's like, I didn't pull the video. I don't really care. But he said something like, there are more Chinese food restaurants than there are fast food restaurants combined. And it's like, it's not even close. Like, he's so wrong about that.
Wait. Start that over. I'm sorry.
Trump said that. So Trump said that there are more Chinese food restaurants than there are all fast food restaurants combined. And it's like not even
in
close
the United States.
I don't know if he was talking about in the United States or if he was talking about like where he was just coming from or whatever. But it's like either way, it's not even close. There's like 50,000 Chinese food restaurants in the United States, and I think there's more Subways than there are Chinese food restaurants.
Don't get me wrong, there's a shit ton of them.
No, yeah. Did you know that Subway has the most locations of all the fast food chains in the United States?
They outbeat McDonald's?
Yes, they do. Yep. Because I had heard that fun trivia tidbit and couldn't believe it myself. I looked up, you know why? Because you know what they do? It's actually kind of a brilliant business model.
They happen to make like gas stations.
Yes, along highways. So there's just a shit ton of them inside those gas stations and on those highways. It's actually kind of a brilliant business model. It works pretty well. Because I'm going to tell you, like, I don't eat Subway. Like I never eat Subway, but if I'm on a long road trip with the wife and the dogs, we probably stop and grab Subway once. You know, in a gas station, it's easy. Make you up a quick sandwich. It's easy to eat in the car. You know what I mean? It's
Dude, I'll drive an extra 10 miles to get something like A&W or McDonald's
right.
or something.
But if you're looking for the convenience of just off the highway, it works.
Still,
it's like the only time I'll ever eat Subway. Literally, I will never eat it again the rest of this year.
I will not compromise. It's like 2001 America with terrorists. I will not compromise.
Yeah, but you have weird food things.
That's fine. I'll have Jimmy John's. Bell's
nodding his head.
It's not always bad though, because like you might want Subway, and then Corey's like, "No, we're gonna drive an extra 11 minutes, and we're gonna go get a slab of fucking ribs." And I'm like, you know what? That's not even
no
a
mac
bad
and
idea.
cheese. No mac and cheese with those ribs, unless it's Kraft out of the box.
Nah, he'll just straight one throat 12 ribs, dude. He don't care.
Damn
That's
straight.
hot.
Bone and all.
Dude, I can't remember. I had an uncle tell me this story once about like I don't know if it was
because I feel like bringing Bell back into this. I feel like we've probably been in a similar situation, and then after we eat some good ass food versus just Subway, I'm like, that extra 11 minutes was worth it, wasn't it? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of ribs, I had an uncle that told me this story once about, I don't remember if he was talking about his grandma, somebody or like an aunt or somebody, but she would crack the bones open and suck the fucking marrow out of the bones. Gross.
That sounds like some depression type shit. Like, and I'm not
might
saying
be.
like,
You might be right.
and so when I say depression, I don't mean like, oh,
you
I'm
mean the Great
depressed.
Depression.
I mean like Great Depression. Like, it sounds like some like 1930s type shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of
She was
nutrition
like
in that marrow.
She was 111 years old, sucking marrow out of the bones. I don't know what's wrong with her.
She had. Did she have dementia?
The fact she's 111 cracking bones is crazy enough. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
but you
think
just made.
I don't think she was that old at the time.
I know. Bell's just making up numbers like AOC over here.
Arbitrary.
You can't just become 111 years old.
You don't earn being 111 years old.
You can't just earn that. You just can't.
You don't earn your age. I become a billion years old.
You kind of do, man. Being alive takes work. It's a lot of work to be alive.
I don't know. I've put in minimal effort and I'm doing a lot better than a lot of fucking people.
Till you get ass cancer from eating all that McDonald's. Although Trump's okay, he eats a lot of McDonald's.
Yeah. I think about that sometimes where it's like our generation is eating a lot of foods that like are preservatives and stuff, but it's like when you really look at it, it's like, do you really think people in the 50s were eating better?
They're eating a lot less.
Less, maybe. Like it's like when you think about people during the Depression, you know, and they're just eating like dandelions.
Dude, like, no, my grandfather, when he finally got money and started his business I almost said in the United States, in Michigan, because they moved up from like Depression era Missouri. He's like, I will never eat another turnip the rest of my life because like that's like all they had for some period of time. All he could eat was fucking like turnip soup or whatever it was, and he never did. He never ate another turnip again till the day that he died.
Fucking made it.
A lot of radishes, though.
That's how I feel about meatloaf. I'm glad. I'm yeah. What, in Michigan, radish? Where I live, it was like, what was it? The rhubarb state of the rhubarb capital of the world at one point.
I don't know, dude. I love a good red radish, man.
That's how I feel about
horseradish.
I'll never eat meatloaf again in my life.
Oh, my wife makes a good meatloaf. I like it. It's delicious. Anyway, Trump and Xi Jinping's meeting here, after he handed it to Chinese food and we got off on that ridiculous tangent. That meeting was, you know what that meeting was, right? All that meeting was Trump going to China and begging him for money and helping him reopen the Strait of Hormuz that he is responsible for having closed in the fucking first place. Meanwhile, the Chinese are like, yeah, dude, it's open for us. They came out and said that today. The Iranians are letting ships through that are going to China. Well, you know why? Because China didn't start a war with them.
Yeah, because China's not bombing them.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how that works, isn't it? What a bunch of jerks. Those goddamn Chinese people not fucking bombing them for us like they should be. It's like, honestly, the whole situation is
Isn't that crazy? Like, I honestly, like, in my day-to-day life, China, I feel like poses no threat to me as an individual if I was my own sovereign person. The problem is, I feel like China, like their hand is being forced to try to negatively impact me because of my government.
There's definitely something to that. And this meeting kind of demonstrates that. Like, this entire meeting was honestly, it was like two boomers trying to enter a Zoom call. I got in just fine, Dennis. Did you try downloading the app? I can't remember my password. try turning it off and turning it back on. When it comes to the Strait, Trump has already turned it off and is really struggling to turn it back on. And like, he thinks China is Geek Squad. He thinks he's just going to roll into Beijing and have Geek Squad reopen the Strait for him. Like, it's just so obvious what's going on here. And then you have, you know what? Before I get into the next part of this this topic, Corey, do you have anything to add to that? That's what this seems like to me. It's two boomers in a Zoom call. One of them competent, the other one not.
No, I mean, I kind of mentioned that before, and how Xi brought up the Thucydides trap. I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
Probably
but
not.
Thucydides, Thucydides, and how like Americans love Trump because he speaks like your average American. And here is Xi bringing up not like Eastern mythology or history, but instead Western mythology and history. And how
You're a fat loser and you have body odor.
You don't want
audio of Xi Jinping during
happen. Yeah, you don't want this to happen like that's happened before in your history because it's relatable for you versus our history. Like, I don't know.
That's okay. You don't have to know. It's probably better that you don't.
I'm when I say I don't know is what I feel like what I'm saying is exactly what's happening is that they're just everyone's like, oh, Trump's playing 4D chess. It's like, oh, I don't know if he is.
I mean, he might be, but he's losing. He's not winning the chess game.
Right, like, it's fine. Yes. All right. We'll concede. Trump is in fact playing 4D chess. But it's like a fucking one-armed person trying to play Bop It. Like it's not working.
I don't know, man. That guy that had
it's entertaining. It's fun to watch.
I don't know, man.
It's not fucking working.
Was it
like really try to picture someone with one arm trying to play Bop It? Are they putting the twisted part in their mouth? Like,
no, dude. All I thought of was the fucking the whatchamacallit, the cornhole guy that shot that dude.
I'm glad you brought
that
no
up, limbs.
I also thought of that too.
But you also had what's so funny is like you had a bunch of people also go to China, like Brett Baer from Fox News was there, and a bunch of other fucking Zionist influencers and other goofballs essentially followed China to Trump to China. You had Brett Baer went along with other newsmen running around pointing out all of the surveillance cameras all over Beijing and saying, look at how awful it is that they surveil their people.
As we're sitting here on our show talking about flock cameras.
I know.
Talking about how
we don't do that here.
Is forcing auto industries here in America to put in AI-enabled fucking kill switching vehicles in 2020.
Come on now, you expect me to believe that?
It's just like
our government's right behind China.
Show. Nobody loves surveillance more than Fox News watching boomers. They love it. It's for your the difference, Corey, is they're mean to their people, and for us, it's for our safety. Don't you know that? You should know that by now.
You don't.
We need surveillance
because the people in China are being fed the same thing. They're being fed that the cameras are there because they're mean to them, but in America, they're doing it for their safety.
Dude, and the other thing that people don't understand, and this is
like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't think the Chinese people that are being fed the same thing? The people in China are being told that the cameras are for their safety, and that in America, it's because the government is mean to them. That's what the Chinese people are being told.
Well, maybe not, right? But because I think there's something even deeper than that. Because Sagar brought this up today on the show about how they just have a different social structure in China. Like they just don't really care as much about the government watching over them and sort of being this communist nation that has actually kind of made it work. But to be fair, they made it work while using global capitalism to make it work. So there still had to be some sort of, I guess.
You're saying socialism?
What do you mean?
You're saying that like they're using capitalism to let people be rich, but also having a huge hand when it comes to the government and manipulating everything and having an oversight on everything?
No, I think what I'm saying is that like we don't want to live that way in the Western world, or at least
you and I couldn't do what we're doing right now in China.
I agree.
We couldn't. It just wouldn't be allowed.
There's a reason I don't want to be there.
Well, so this podcast, in its structure of criticizing the American government, we could do that in China, no problem.
Sure.
But criticizing the Chinese government in China is a problem.
But the whole
remember
point
when
is,
TikTok was banned for a little bit, and then so I divvied into the whole red note and like China's version of TikTok, which they're like, oh, TikTok is owned by China, but it wasn't even allowed there. You had to use a different app.
But the thing is, like, I don't really care if Chinese people want to be communists. That doesn't. There's no effect on me. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit.
It's the same thing we say about Cuba. Like, I don't care if Cuba's communist.
Cuba has a better
I'm not
higher
Cuban.
literacy rate. Cuba has a higher literacy rate. Cuba has a higher average age. Cuba.
What happened
Speaking
in
of Cuba, they're moving right now. Breaking news: they're moving to indict Raul Castro, who's Fidel Castro's brother.
Oh,
I don't know why. The guy's literally almost 100 years old.
They just waited. Yeah, if you just wait till somebody can't think anymore, that's what they're gonna do to Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people will bring that up and to like try to defend communism, right? They're like, well, they have a higher literacy rate and they have a higher life expectancy. It's like, that's great.
They also don't have liberty.
They also don't have liberty.
And like, I care more about liberty. If I was Chinese, maybe I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, I guess because so many Americans don't flex it, but it's like, I like being able to just like tell the government, no, fuck you. Like, fuck Trump. You can only say that in a hand, like, probably counted on your fingers and toes of how many countries you can say, fuck the leader of your country. Right?
Well, we're the only ones with a First Amendment, so that helps with that. Dude, so the other thing was, so not just Brett Baer talking about how it's so horrible that the Chinese surveil their people when we do the exact same thing, because obviously Brett Baer has no problem with Palantir centralizing all of our data and our facial recognition and everything else because it's for our safety. But also,
or Gestapo type branches of the executive government manipulating the American people and using administrative warrants as judicial warrants. And
yeah, he's no problem with any of that. But also, you remember how there's always been this talk,
and also when he goes, there's a lot of cameras. Like, have you been to any downtown and actually just walked around? Because there's fucking cameras everywhere.
The other thing that I noticed was fun about this was that there's a lot of the folks that went over there while Trump was there. There's all these videos of all of this incredible tech that the Chinese have, like humanoid robots and what have you. And there's been this narrative for so long that all the Chinese do is steal our shit. And like, that might have been true 20 years ago, but I think it's pretty clear that the Chinese are ahead of us in a lot of ways.
They're ahead of us when it comes to this stuff being pushed out to like a commercial level. I feel like our government kind of hoards it. To think that China is ahead of us in tech, I don't think so. I think just our government hoards it and finds out a way to use it military first, and then it trickles out to the American populace.
Sure, yeah, we got to use the humanoid robots. We got to, while China is teaching them how to like flip burgers and you know bring Granny her groceries, we're teaching it how to shoot a fucking AR platform. Like that's how we operate with our humanoid robots. We got to teach it how to go kill brown kids in the Middle East while they use it to actually help their population.
Yeah,
isn't that wild?
No, China studied America really well, and they're finding out where all our missteps are, and they're doing the same thing, extorting small countries.
Remember during COVID, I can't remember the amount of people that were like, "Oh yeah, China's fucked. They're so fucked now, dude. China's done. China's just fine." And I was saying it then. Like, trust me when I tell you, China's just fine.
They still have a lifespan that's shorter than ours because they have more 90-year-olds than 80-year-olds, more 80-year-olds than 70-year-olds, more 70-year-olds than 60-year-olds and stuff like that. But while we supplement our aging crisis with immigrants, they're supplementing theirs with robots.
Yeah.
And automation.
Shall we get into the smear campaign about Thomas Massie?
I guess.
Unless you don't want to talk about it. I think it's important.
It's just...
Dude, here's why it's important. I said it last week. I think just from like a principled perspective, if Thomas Massie loses this primary, is the United States going to collapse, right? Is democracy going to fall, or any of the other platitudes that have been thrown out to us for the last 20 elections about if the opponent wins, we're all fucked? No, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think if Thomas Massie loses this election or loses this primary, not necessarily, well, if he wins the primary, he wins the election. Just because, it's Kentucky. But if he loses, it is such a horrible blow to can we turn around this
cesspool?
This horrible sort of Zionist and foreign influence and money in politics and just essentially everything that Donald Trump ran on in 2024 about turning around. It feels like Thomas Massie in a lot of ways is our last gasp at this, at actually making the things that Donald Trump ran on take place.
Of an evening dying light.
Yeah. And the thing is, the Adelsons know that. The Zionist movement knows that. Laura Loomer knows that.
Fuck Laura Loomer. Hey, her fingers are all up in this.
Larry Loomer. They all know what Thomas Massie represents to us, to the actual American people, and they want to crush that. They know what he is. They know who he is. They know how much he means to the actual America First crowd, and just regular, run-of-the-mill libertarians who just want to live on their fucking homesteads and grow hemp and be left alone and not pay as many taxes to, feed the Israeli war machine in the Middle East. They know all that. That's I just don't understand. And again, okay, I'm going to turn this back to boomers for just a minute, because we talked about this pre-show, Corey. I don't remember if we mentioned it to start the show. I think we did, but I'll do it again just in case we didn't. If the youth gets out and votes, Thomas Massie wins this election. And when I say youth, I'm not talking about fresh kids out of college, although they count. I'm talking about essentially anybody under the age of 50.
Yeah.
Because the boomers are so fucking brainwashed that they just, the Adelsons can just put money into an empty suit. Literally shove money into an empty suit, which is essentially what Ed Gelrain is. Throw him out there and say, Thomas Massie's mean, we don't like him. Go vote for this empty suit that's stuffed with cash.
Yeah, Massie
we'll
up to the age of 55 is plus 17.
That's including all demographics up to that age?
So ages 17 to 25, he's plus 25. Ages 26 to 35, he's plus 56. Age 36 to 45, he's plus 38.
That's us.
Plus 46 to 55 is 17. And then when it comes to 56 to 65,
way underwater.
Gelrain is plus 18. 65 to 75 plus 35. 75 plus, he's plus 33.
So I think those numbers bode well for Thomas Massie if young people in that district get out and vote. You have to do it. And it's so funny because I'm somebody who fucking hates voting. I really do. I don't even do it anymore. It doesn't make a difference to me.
No, I vote.
I mean, I do. I'll go vote for local shit, but when we're talking about federal, national election shit, I don't I haven't been given a candidate that I don't really give a shit if the Republican or the Democrat wins, or I don't really care who wins the primary most of the time.
Right, your own name. I do.
I shouldn't say that I don't vote, because I do, but I vote for things that actually that I can actually make a difference in, and things that actually matter locally to me and state, and maybe even at the state level. But yeah, I mean, federal elections, it doesn't really fucking matter. It doesn't matter who you vote for most of the time. This is one of those weird times where it actually does matter. It's a matter of principle. I do have a buddy, friend of the show, He's filled in for Corey a couple of times. Jeff Mell, who does live in Kentucky, unfortunately, he is not in Thomas Massie's district, so unfortunately, he cannot vote for Thomas Massie. But he swears to me that everything that he's seeing in the state in which he lives, the state of Kentucky, most people aren't buying the Galrain bullshit. He's like, honestly, I haven't seen anything.
I'm at this point now.
He's very, very confident Thomas Massie's going to win this primary.
If Galrain wins, then the stereotype of bucktooth inbred Kentuckians holds true.
Yeah.
If Massie wins, then I will the respect of Kentuckians. Is that the proper term for people from Kentucky? Kentuckians?
I think it is Kentuckians, yes.
Like, yeah,
What
my
else would it
respect
be?
for Kentuckians would be like, oh yeah, no, those people are actually really smart.
And I don't think that he's going to win this primary plus 80 like he did the first time he ran. I don't think he's going to win it. I think the second time he was like plus 60. Like, it's come down every time. It's going to be semi close, but with the amount of money that the Zionist propaganda machine has put into Ed Galrain to take down Thomas Massie, dude, I think a 7-point win. That's a blowout to me.
I would take it if he won by, yeah. If he just wins, even if it's by like 100 votes, that's a win. That's a blowout. That's a blowout based on how much money was put into each campaign.
Absolutely glued to those polling results next Tuesday. And I can't even vote for him. He's not in my district. He's not even in my state. Because he's the only man of principle in Congress right now. I should say in the House.
Senate, even the Senate. Like, he's one of the only principled people in the body of the federal government.
So what are they doing to try to take him down right now, Corey? It is so interesting to me that a week before the primaries, something's got to come out. You know, you've heard of the October surprise, right? In the big general elections. Well, the Adelson money is pushing so hard for their very own October surprise with Thomas Massie, and the bullshit regarding it is just so easy to suss out. Clint Russell over at the Liberty Lockdown did an episode today. It's about 35 minutes. I recommend everybody check it out. He called out the bullshit on this smear campaign all the way to a T. I'm going to try to summarize it because I don't have a lot of it in my notes in front of me. But essentially, what the pro-Galrain Zionist money crew is trying to do here is tell you that Thomas Massie is some sort of sexual deviant. There was this woman that allegedly he was dating. I do believe he's denied that ever took place. There's a picture of them sitting together in what looks like a golf cart or something. I don't know where the hell it is. It's the only thing that they've been able to produce, but they're not even able to keep their facts straight. So he allegedly paid this woman off for some, I don't know, sexual misgivings or something like that. That's the way it's being spun. There's this video going around of this woman in what appears to be a deposition. Clint Russell called out the bullshit on that. It's not even a deposition. She's not under oath during any of this, and she's not even talking about it's not even regarding any sort of sexual misgivings with Thomas Massie. It's about a colleague of Thomas Massie's that allegedly she did hire this woman for like a temporary job of some kind, and then decided she was really shitty at it, so didn't bring her on full time. She was threatening to go out and, say some nasty stuff about Thomas Massie's colleague, and Thomas Massie allegedly paid her off not to do so. That's what my understanding of what this deposition is about. Again, Clint Russell over the Liberty Lockdown can explain this a hell of a lot better than I can. But the whole point of that is, it's Laura Loomer and types like her have been trying to make it seem like this faux deposition was about Thomas Massie forcing her to sign an NDA over sexual conduct stuff. And, you know, stuff's been brought up again about how can Thomas Massie start dating so quickly after his wife dies? Because, you know, I don't think anybody who's lost a spouse has ever really had a negative opinion on that. I haven't lost my spouse. Hopefully I don't, at least not until we're in our very old age. Corey, I think you would say the same. But if in some horrible, tragic way I do or you do, I mean, I don't think we can sit here and say that we wouldn't start like dating again. Like, what's the timeline where it's acceptable, you know, to start dating somebody else after the passing of your spouse? And that's not for us to say. And Thomas Massie has defended this. Thomas Massie.
Damn, when you fall off a horse, you got to get back on.
Dude, honestly, what you just said there is not that far off from what Thomas Massie has said. He was with his wife for, I think he said 35 years or something like that. And he realizes how wonderful it is for a man to be. This is, you know, this is a conservative viewpoint, but like, it's not that crazy. His whole point was like, he understood how great, you know, having a female companion was and being married actually was, and he wanted to go back out and do that again. And we don't know what Thomas Massie and his late wife discussed prior to her death. It's not like she just died overnight. She was ill. I mean, who's to say that she didn't say, you know, when I'm gone, you know, get back out there? Who's to say she didn't say that? And it's not, and Thomas Massie shouldn't have to feel like he has to tell us that she said that or not. That's a private discussion between him and his late wife that if Thomas Massie wants it to stay private, it should stay private. It's not our business in any way, shape, or form. And so like they've tried to bring that whole thing back out. Like, what a piece of shit. He went out and got remarried, you know, a year or whatever it was after his wife passed away.
Well, and here's the thing: it's, of all people, it's Trump saying this shit.
Oh, of course. Yeah, the guy who's cheated on every wife he's had, and probably including Melania, if we're to believe Stormy Daniels. I mean, it's like, that's just weird. You put those two women up next to each other, and I'm like, I think Melania is far more attractive and far more well-read than is Stormy Daniels. But yeah, this push has been so hard 1 week before the primaries. And this is another reason why I never understand the mind of a boomer. It's like, how do you not see what's going on here? Like, how do you not take the time, just 30 seconds out of your day when this news drops, to go, it's really weird that they're doing this just like a week before the primaries. I wonder why they're doing that. Like, the boomers don't ask questions. They don't ask themselves simple questions like that. If you want to believe it, if you think the evidence shows, you know, that Thomas Massie is some sexual deviant,
I don't know. Stormy Daniels looks pretty good.
Yeah, too phony to me. I'm not into that. Wow. She's blonde, Corey.
What do you mean? Well, here I am talking about a blonde looking good, and you disagreeing.
But would you agree that Melania certainly aged better? Which makes sense. I mean, one of them.
Wait, I don't know. What does Stormy Daniels look like today?
Not great. Oh, do not pull her up right now. I mean, you can if you want to, but you are not going to like what you see. I mean,
holy fuck.
I mean, she literally did she literally did take pipe as her career. Melania, I don't think, did that. I mean, other than Epstein's, of course. I don't want a defamation suit. I take that back. Yeah, put that up there, man. Whoa! Goom! She's been through a lot, Corey. She's been through a lot.
Self-inflicted. Some people age like fine wine, and some people age like milk.
She turned into the president of a motorcycle.
Of a motorcycle club.
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
She did.
Yes, you did, Stormy. I've seen it. I've watched you do it on camera. Don't even try that shit with me. Anyway, please go out and vote.
It's just bullshit.
Please go out and vote for Thomas Massie. Can we just have that one last bastion of hope that this empire isn't going to fold like a cheap card table in my lifetime?
Says the guy drinking a Twisted Tea.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. I just saw the Twisted Tea and I thought I'd say it.
This shit's delicious.
Twisted Tea?
Hell yeah.
That's heartburn in a can, brother.
No. Dude, fucking acidic beer gives me more heartburn than Twisted Tea. It doesn't even have, it's not even carbonated. How the hell does it give you heartburn?
The lemons.
Get the non-lemon ones. There's peach. There's a whole bunch of other flavors.
I don't know, man.
It's good stuff. Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else we didn't get to other than I don't know a whole lot about this, but Tulsi Gabbard's office got raided by the CIA.
Time for a little drinking pool.
Oh, Bibi Netanyahu too. Bibi, did I send you the Bibi video, Bell? I think I did. You can go ahead and pull that up. So Bibi was on 60 Minutes because I wonder why. CBS News, run by Barry Weiss, Zionists trying to.
Did you see the whole thing that Bibi chose the interviewer?
No, but I'm not surprised. Doesn't shock me
that it wasn't the normal 60 Minutes person. It was Major. What was his name?
I can't remember. We don't need to look it up, but I totally believe you.
Yeah.
That totally sounds normal.
It totally sounds like all of this was fabricated.
Yep. Go ahead and roll this, Bell. Actually, before you do, this is Bibi Netanyahu.
Something like that.
Bibi Netanyahu wondering why Israel is losing.
Is this where he blames demons? Is this where he blames the evil forces?
I don't know, man. Go ahead, Bell.
We have seen the deterioration of the support for Israel in the United States. Almost, I would say it correlates almost 100% with the geometric rise of social media.
No, it doesn't.
That by itself is not.
That's wrong.
And I don't.
It's your response to October 7th.
Censoring them or anything, but I'll tell you what happened. We have several countries that basically manipulated social media with bot farms, with fake addresses, to break the American sympathy to Israel, to break the American-Israeli alliance because they think it's in their interests.
Bell, pause it real quick.
In a clever way, it's like
because I feel like October 7th, it was probably one of the times where I felt most sympathetic for the Israeli people. Regardless of geopolitical tensions, everything that was happening in that country, when I saw people flying from Gaza in paragliders and rounding people up in vehicles and shooting people just at festivals, I liked festivals. I go to festivals. It hit home. When I saw just innocent young people just trying to enjoy themselves, having to flee in panic and terror and run to their vehicles to try to, at the chance of getting away. And you know what I mean? And all of the shit that I saw Hamas doing to the Israeli people on October 7th, I felt the most sympathetic for this small country the size of New Jersey in the Middle East, that they were being attacked just because of their religion. And then
you realize it wasn't because of their religion.
Then after that, and you start to look into context of the whole relationship between Israel and all the other countries, the context made it seem not necessarily justified. I would never say just taking innocent lives justifies anything, but it adds nuance to it. And it was oh, okay.
They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it.
I understand why these people responded, but it's also what was Israel to do? Because it almost brings you back to the Cold War of America, because everyone's well, America was an imperialist country during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And it's like, yeah, sure, and it's easy to say that they are imperialistic, but the alternative was Russia doing the same thing, and was America supposed to just sit idly by while they did that? And then it adds context to it. But then when I really started judging the Israeli government is when they did Dresden times 100 in Gaza. And it's like your response is like, okay, well, all of the moral equivalency of you being the better person just went out the window because I watched you do what they did times 100 just now. And I feel like that a lot of people in America, their psyche about this is pretty fucking similar to where it's like, maybe it was blissful ignorance when it came to Israel. They didn't really care because it was 3,000 miles away. But then all of a sudden you're watching the people completely decimate and create genocide on a whole swath of people while they're also claiming to be the victim. Yeah, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it's so.
And then, you know what? A majority of Americans aren't either. And for him to sit here and scratch his head and kick rocks and go, well, geez, I just don't understand. You understand. Bibi Netanyahu knows exactly why.
Two things about what he said so far. One is the reduction in support for Israel has gone down in correlation with the rise of social media is bullshit. Social media has been around. I mean, when was MySpace a thing? 2004. Social media has been around a long time.
The peak of Facebook isn't 2026. It's probably 2012.
Yeah, or something like that. It doesn't correlate with the rise of social media. To your point, Corey, it correlates with the October 7th versus
I think like 2013, 2014, there was more Facebook accounts than there was people alive.
Yeah, and support for Israel was pretty normal in BB's eyes. The other thing though is this is just another every accusation.
Unless you want to put the conspiracy hat on, it's where it's social media that the government's couldn't control anymore. Because Facebook itself was originally an actual DARPA. Now, this is tinfoil hat shit. But it was called, like, hey, Belle, real quick, look up Lifebook or Lifebite or something like that. Look up DARPA and Facebook. Because the government was working on a social media project similar to Facebook before Facebook itself. Lifeblog. Yeah. The U.S. government was working on a Facebook before Facebook became a thing. And then instead of trying to control it because of our constitution, they're not allowed to, they just filled it with a bunch of CIA and FBI assets.
And every accusation, every accusation is an admission when it comes to admission of guilt when it comes to Bibi Netanyahu. They were throwing out bot farms. Bot farms are the reason why that there's a problem with support for Israel. I don't know if you guys have like strolled through X lately. I don't know. Look at Dave Smith's feed. Look at Glenn Greenwald's feed. Look at the comments under every tweet that these guys post. And it's not just them, it's multiple others. It's all pro-Israeli bots. It's all it is. It's everything. It's 90% of the comments on these guys' feeds. But anti-Israel people are the ones throwing out bot farms. It's nonsense. It's what you do, asshole.
Yeah, no, you literally bragged about paying random people to be pro-Israeli and paying them $7,000 to the point that it became a meme.
I don't know if there's anything good left in this video, Bell, but I guess you can continue to the end of it. There's only like 20 seconds left. I don't know if he says anything else dumb.
Actually, it's 20 seconds.
I always supported Israel, but I can't stand what they're doing. I'm turning against Israel. And then you trace the address to some basement in Pakistan, and that's something that has hurt us badly.
Say Turkey.
While we were fighting the physical military battle on 7 battlefields, 7-front war, We were completely exposed on the 8th.
This is the one.
The media war, really the social media war.
Okay, so let me say this. Social media is the 8th front of this war.
What are the other 7? I thought they were
why are you
Lebanon, Iran?
Wait. That's not even important. I don't even care who we know who they are, but that doesn't matter. It seems to me that if you're the nation fighting a war on 7 fronts and social media is the 8th front, why are you fighting so many wars? Oh, I know, because the rest of the world has always hated you. They want the Jews to die, whatever excuse you're going to throw out there. Generally, when a nation is fighting a war on 8 fronts, 7 in kinetic war, it's like that. It's like that whole thing where, like, if the whole room hates you, who do you think the problem is? Is it everybody in the room?
It's all of them.
Yeah. Like just that statement alone should let the boomer.
Dan, you've never been drunk enough to double
question.
down and tell everyone else they're the problem.
I mean, sure, but it was like because I don't know, hitting on somebody's girlfriend when I was 22 or something like that.
Yes,
it was.
You doubled down. You say, "That's it, I'm out of here," and you steal the priceless heirloom from the family.
I didn't go that far.
I'm
a man of integrity.
Okay.
I'm a man of integrity, Corey.
I've never done that either.
But it's just like we're fighting a 7 front and now an 8 front war. Like, why is it the 8th front?
I don't know, but it just makes me think. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here, Dan. One time I was at okay. One time when I was like 21, I was at a party and we were there and we were all hanging out. I remember kicking ass in the beer pong table, and there was a point where like I was really winning and someone told me I had to get off the table, and I said no, fuck you, and I knocked all of the cups of water off the table. And then someone came up to me and told me I had to leave. So it was like February, and for some reason they still had all their Christmas stuff out. And as I was leaving, I remember thinking, fuck this place, and went to steal one of the animatronic Christmas fucking statues they had, one of those ones that moves, and it had a candle in its hand. And I grabbed it and went to run out the door. But when I went to go run out the door, it also had a cord on it. And the cord dragged across the table of all the Christmas decorations and broke probably 7 or 8 of that family's snow globes.
And when you got it home, you named it Libya.
No, when I got home, I put a cigarette in its mouth and took a picture of it and posted it on my Instagram because Instagram just came out. That's how long ago this was.
That makes sense. It's part of the 8th front. It's the 8th front war.
Yeah, go to church. Find Jesus.
You're not fooling anybody, brother.
For sure. Nolan Richardson said this show makes me want to stop jacking it and give a standing ovation.
Why don't you do both?
Personally, I'll unbutton a button. You can do both.
Peekaboo. You can do both. What is the sound of one hand clapping? It's Nolan jerking off. Do we have anything else, Corey?
I don't got nothing else.
Tulsi Gabbard's office was raided by the CIA. I wonder why she's been so quiet on all this.
You hope that's why she's been so quiet on all this, Dan, but we're giving her a lot of credit on that.
I know. I mean, either way, it's why she's been so quiet on this. Whether or not it reduces the amount of integrity she has any further, that's debatable. All right. Tell the people where they can find us, Corey.
Livservative Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libservativeshow.com. We can be found, not you. We're a collective, Dan, because you're a fucking pinko. We can be found on
You're the one who just graduated college, asshole. You're talking about pinkos.
Libsertive can be found on Facebook,
Very
YouTube,
successful,
and
very rich.
Instagram and Twitter at LibsertivePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libsertive Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libsertivepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today.
Donald Trump is a bad guy. He's a bad person.
For Bella Bodysnatcher on the ones and twos, he is always
You're gay.
He is always has been Corey Walsh. He is always
He's
has been
Dan
Corey
Griffin.
Walsh.
He's Dan Griffin. He's Dan Griffin. That's Dan Griffin.
This has been Libservative Intellectual Idiots, fostering political and cultural literacy, and the
world's smartest podcast.
We can't say podcast anymore. We're on multiple platforms. It's
world's smartest internet show.
Something
Not
like
my
that.
problem.
That does sound like something a boomer would say, doesn't it?
I'm sorry.
No, the world's smartest internet show. Doesn't that sound like a boomer catchphrase?
It does.
Sounds like something, I don't know, like a Tucker Carlson knockoff would say.
Ooh, Mark Levin.
No, he's not a Tucker knockoff. He's I don't know what he is. Tucker knockoff would have some.
You're gay.
Anyway, that's been it.
Time for a little drinking pool.
That's right. And until next time, we are out of here.
I don't take no orders from no woman, by the way. I don't listen to women yelling. I tell them to shut up.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.